You didn't become this observant by accident. At some point in your life, your brain learned that paying attention to everything was the only way to stay safe. If that sounds like you have probably noticed that you move through the world a little differently than everyone else. You probably sit quietly in groups. People often think you are shy or maybe even stuck up, but you are not shy. You are just watching. You notice the slight change in someone's voice. You see the tiny hesitation before they answer a question. You feel things on a level that most people completely miss. And because of that, you spend a lot of your life feeling completely misunderstood. This is not just being an introvert. Here at iShow Clarity, we call this the silent mind. It is a deeper, quieter form of intelligence, but it does not come from reading books or studying hard. It comes from a much deeper place. It usually comes from surviving something hard. It is called traumatic intelligence. When your brain goes through intense stress or emotional pain early in life, it literally changes shape. Your mind's threat detector stays turned up. You learn to read the room because, at one point in your life, reading the room kept you safe. You did not just get smart, you got smart to survive. But this superpower comes with a heavy price. Sign 1. The small talk barrier. Think about how much you hate small talk. When someone starts talking about the weather or normal everyday gossip, you might smile and nod, but inside you feel completely exhausted. Imagine you are at a party. Everyone is laughing about something trivial, and you are just staring at your drink wishing you were home. Psychologically, your brain is wired to look for deep, meaningful survival data. It does not know what to do with surface-level noise. The sad twist is that people think you are arrogant or bored by them. But the truth, you are actually just starving for something real. You want to know what keeps them awake at night, not what they had for lunch. Sign 2. The burden of awareness. Because you crave depth, you also pick up on everything. You feel subtle shifts in people's energy. A friend might text you, "I am fine." Anyone else would believe it, but you instantly know they are not. You can feel the change in how they type, or the time it took them to reply. Your nervous system learned to read these tiny micro-expressions to predict danger long before it happens. But here's what people misunderstand about this. You know people better than they know themselves, and it often breaks your heart. You see their pain, but you also realize you cannot save everyone. It is a very heavy thing to carry. Sign 3. The heavy brain. This heavy feeling follows you home. Your mind never truly stops running. You probably lay in bed at 2 a.m. staring at the ceiling, completely rethinking a 5-minute conversation you had 3 days ago. You wonder if you said the wrong thing or if they took it the wrong way. This is a trauma response called hypervigilance. Your brain is running every possible scenario to make sure you do not get hurt again. People around you will tell you to just stop overthinking. They think you are naturally anxious. What they do not understand is that your brain is not trying to torture you. It is just trying to protect you. Sign 4. Preemptive isolation. And to protect yourself, you do something that confuses almost everyone. You push people away when things get too good. You might meet someone great, a new friend or a partner. Things are going perfectly. Then suddenly, you pull back. You stop texting. You find a flaw in them. It is the fear of abandonment playing out as control. If you leave first, you cannot be left behind. The biggest misunderstanding here is that people think you are cold. They think you do not care. But it is the exact opposite. You leave because you care too much and you are terrified of how much it will hurt when they eventually go. But here is where it gets deeper. If you have been nodding along so far, feeling like this is your life story, what comes next is the hardest part to accept about having a silent mind. Sign 5. The fixer's trap. Emotional depth. You probably find that broken people are naturally drawn to you. Strangers might tell you their deepest life stories on a train or in a line at the store. Friends come to you with crises they would not share with anyone else. You project an aura of deep empathy because you know exactly what deep pain feels like. You create a safe space for others, but the painful twist is this. You give everyone the exact healing, love, and patience that you never received yourself. You pour everything into fixing others, leaving your own cup completely empty. You are everyone's safe place, but you have nowhere to go when you're falling apart. Sign 6. The old soul syndrome. This makes you feel out of place in the world. You have probably never felt your own age. Even as a young kid, you might have felt like an adult trapped in a small body. While other kids were playing and being careless, you were watching the adults, understanding their stress, maybe even trying to fix their problems. Trauma forces the brain to mature too fast. You skipped the carefree part of life. People probably complimented you, calling you a mature old soul. But the dark truth is, Being an old soul was never a compliment. It was just the side effect of having to grow up way too fast. Sign 7. High empathy, zero trust. Because you grew up fast, you understand the dark side of human nature. You have high empathy, but zero trust. When someone hurts you, you actually understand why they did it. You see their brokenness. You see their own trauma. So in your heart, you forgive them, but even though you forgive them, you lock the door and never speak to them again. It is a mix of deep empathy and a heavily guarded nervous system. The world misunderstands this completely. They think if you forgive, you should forget. But the silent mind forgives everyone while trusting absolutely no one. If you recognize these traits in yourself, you might feel a little broken right now. You might feel like your brain is a very difficult place to live, but please listen to this closely. This is not a weakness. You are not damaged. This is how your mind beautifully adapted to keep you safe when you needed it most. Your traumatic intelligence is a shield. It kept you alive. Your only job now is to look around and realize that the war is over. You can start learning when it is safe to put that shield down. You are not weird. You are not too sensitive. You simply have a silent mind. You see the world in rich, high definition while everyone else is watching in black and white. If this felt like looking in a mirror, you should watch the next video on the screen. It explains exactly why the silent mind is so attractive to others without even trying. I will see you there.